Let me tell you a personal story of warmth, loss, and connection. I remember walking into the kitchen as a boy, maybe 11 or 12 years old. The air was still, soft light of the afternoon setting on the wooden windowsill. And there she was, my grandmother. She was small and fragile, her silver hair neatly combed, and her hands gently clasped together. She always wore those thick wool socks, the kind that wrapped her feet in warmth like a quiet embrace. She stood by the window, watching the world outside, her gaze distant yet calm. I never really know what she was thinking, but I felt it, a quiet presence, tenderness that filled the space around her. Is my grandmother still here today? No, she has passed. But does that mean she's gone? No, not at all. Because I still feel her. Her presence, her warmth, the sound of her voice, the supportive words, calmness. It's always deeply with me. It's very real. I can say that it's an active part of my world. And here's the thing, the memory isn't painful. It's precious and it's supportive. I have processed that loss, and now she's an ingrained part of my world. Midlife inevitably comes with profound loss. It can be the end of a career, fading of our adolescent dreams, realization of our own mortality and limitations, or something else. But the emotional and neurological impact is strikingly similar. So let's break it down now. Have you heard of stories of soldiers getting injured in a war and returning, and their limbs or feet or other body parts being amputated? What happens is that often they still feel the pain of this body part, the phantom pain, even if the body part is not present, it's gone. Why is this happening? And actually, I can quite confidently say that it's not so different when it comes to mental processes and loss, which is related to something external in our world. Our connection to the world is not random. It's based on a neural loop. I call it the circle of meaning. The first link in this chain that we can analyze is a trigger. For example, if we used to call every day with my grandmother, and now, a week after she passed away, my phone is ringing, it would instantly recall all those memories, and this phone ringing is a strong trigger. Or when I would walk past her house and all those memories are still fresh, then it would also be a strong trigger. If my grandmother would be still around, this trigger would be positive. If the phone is ringing, I would happily run, grab the phone, and have a conversation. And this is the activity part, because all those triggers are always related to an activity. Maybe it's about visiting each other, sitting together, having a conversation, hugging each other, or something else. So, if my grandmother would be still here, I would visit her, we would drink some tea, have a nice conversation. But now, when she has passed away, it's not possible. This option is non-existent. The third link here is stimulus, because let's say that this activity is ongoing, then there is some stimulus which is constantly reinforcing some neural networks which are in our brain. So through the activity, we actually grow these experiences which we share together. And the more we do it, the more meaningful this is for us, the bigger is actually the area which is activated in our brain when we are involved in this process. So the fourth link of this circle is experience. When this loop or circle of meaning is intact, we feel connected, there is a purpose. But when loss breaks this loop, pain creeps in. Now, my friend, please think of your own life and just imagine a relationship which is rich and meaningful for you. It could be a relationship with a person, a deep intellectual relationship related to a job or something else. But think of how vast is actually the impact in your mind, how much you have built your brain activity and neural networks related to this relationship. And if the loss suddenly strikes, all this neural material in the brain is suddenly like in darkness. It doesn't have any more food. And this is the moment where actually we start grieving. There is a big part of ourselves which is suddenly cut off from experience, activity, and anything new that we can build around it. Midlife is always related to some kind of profound loss. And if those losses are kept untreated and just suppressed, this is one of the core reasons why people go through malaise, losing of interest, excitement, etc. Remember that the wound cannot heal unless we clean it properly. And this is a place where many people go wrong. Being afraid of pain makes one escape. And then instead of addressing the cause of pain, people often replace the stimulus with something else. It can be anesthetics, drugs, alcohol, excess entertainment, shopping, or something else. In my opinion, there is no need to worry, because if you target the cause of this pain, time is your friend. Do those memories or even experiences get erased over time? They have to be put into a new shape, new form. My dear granny example. But to reach this situation, you have to accept the pain. Go through it and take care of the wound, so to say. There is a real life story of a lady who got a serious trauma. And to protect herself from this pain, she created a parallel mental world. And in this parallel mental world, she gave birth to a new baby almost every day. And she was feeling really happy. And if the psychiatrist was asked that, would he change this situation if he could, he answered that no, that it was the only way for this woman to create a beautiful, gentle, and happy world for herself. So for this lady, this loop was broken in a very harsh way, and her mind just created a new loop which was complete. In most cases, the pain isn't that extreme that we have to create a parallel loop in our mind. We can still deal with the pain and start creating some kind of completeness through acceptance and time. What's next? How to rebuild your identity after loss. The question isn't just how do I move on? It's how do I rebuild a new sense of self when part of me is missing. In the next video, I'll share strategies that help you shift your identity, rebuild your circle of meaning, and grow beyond loss. And now something I wish to emphasize every time. Midlifers are not used to seeking guidance as often as they should. By now, you're supposed to have life figured out. You're mature, experienced, confident. You have been through enough to know how to handle things, right? And who would really listen to your problems? Your peers are busy managing their own struggles. And some might be thinking, you have a home, career, stability, why are you complaining? Seeking guidance in midlife isn't just about feeling better. Some people stay stuck in the midlife gray zone for a decade or even more, while those who take action reclaim their purpose much sooner. The question is, how many years are you willing to lose? Midlife guidance isn't a luxury, it's a human right. And seeking guidance isn't weakness, it's wisdom.